A huge hole has appeared in Antarctica, and it's teeming with life, just like Lake Vostok, which lies hidden deep beneath the Antarctic ice. Russia and China have begun exploring these hidden places.
And what they found there changes everything we thought we knew about Antarctica. We're going to take a look at the original footage, so make sure to stay tuned until the end. A warm welcome, everyone.
Okay guys, if you had the choice, would you rather be an Antarctic explorer or an astronaut? Feel free to write your answer in the comments with a brief explanation. And if Antarctica fascinates you as much as it does me, please subscribe to the channel. It costs nothing, you'll never miss a video again, and you'll be helping me out a lot. Thanks so much everyone. So let's dive into Antarctica. The cold continent is one of the most fascinating places on the planet. It holds 70% of the Earth's fresh water. It's the coldest, driest, windiest place on Earth. In winter the sun doesn't shine for months, and yet life exists everywhere. That reminds me of the quote from Jurassic Park.
But life finds a way.
And the holes mentioned at the beginning are also sources of life.
These so-called polynyas, a term derived from Russian meaning open water, are large open patches of water in the sea ice that do not freeze over even in the depths of winter. They act like windows in the ice, facilitating an intense exchange of heat, gases, and nutrients between the ocean and the atmosphere. This creates particularly productive habitats where plankton, krill, fish, penguins, and seals congregate, and it's no coincidence that they bear a Russian name. In 1957, the Soviet Union established the Vostok Station in the middle of Antarctica, just under 1,500 kilometers from the coast at an altitude of 3,500 meters, a place where temperatures regularly plummet to minus 89 degrees Celsius. Incidentally, that is the coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth.
Well, I do walk around in a t-shirt, even in winter, but even I would probably reach for a jacket there. For decades, researchers have braved these extreme conditions.
Until the station slowly but surely began to sink into the snow. After 7 decades, inspectors declared the facility 97% worn out. A new one was needed. What followed was a logistical masterpiece. 133 individual station modules were manufactured and tested in St. Petersburg and then sent on the long journey to Antarctica. During the first attempt in 2020, a ship's propeller broke off the coast of Angola, and the entire convoy of cargo ships had to turn back. In 2021, Russia made a second attempt, this time with 2 cargo ships, a tanker, and an icebreaker, and this time it worked. The 133 modules arrived at the Russian coastal station Progress and were then transported by tracked vehicles over 1,500 kilometers across the ice. 7 trips were needed to get the roughly 1,200 tons of material to its destination. The new Vostok Station stands on height-adjustable stilts, so it doesn't sink into the snow again. It accommodates 35 researchers in the summer and 15 in the winter, a veritable Antarctic fortress.
But why all this effort? Why go to such great lengths for a station at the other end of the world? The answer literally lies beneath the researchers' feet.
Directly beneath the Vostok Station lies one of the most fascinating places on the planet, Lake Vostok. It was discovered as early as 1974 by Scottish scientists, but its existence was not confirmed until 1996. This lake is 240 kilometers long, 50 kilometers wide, and lies beneath more than 3 kilometers of ice, hermetically sealed off from the outside world for millions of years. But can life exist there? There are nearly 700 subglacial lakes beneath Antarctica, a hidden network of rivers and lakes that we barely understand. In the few samples researchers have been able to collect so far, microbes were found that survive without sunlight by drawing chemical energy from rocks. And then there are the amphipods, small shrimp-like crustaceans discovered beneath the Ross ice shelf, swimming in absolute darkness far from any ray of light. This makes Antarctica one of the most valuable research sites for the search for life elsewhere in the universe. For if life can exist beneath kilometers of ice, it could also exist, for example, on the moons of Jupiter and Saturn.
And when we talk about life in Antarctica, we also have to talk about blood. Sounds dramatic? It is. At a glacier called Taylor Glacier, a deep red stream of liquid has been seeping into the white for over 100 years.
The so-called blood falls. When explorers first saw this phenomenon in 1911, they thought it was algae. The truth is even more bizarre. It is ancient salt water, more than twice as salty as the ocean, that has been trapped under 400 meters of ice for millions of years. When it reached the surface, the iron dissolved in it oxidized immediately, turning the ice blood red. This salt water carries nutrients it has dissolved from the bedrock, and when such nutrient-rich meltwater flows into the ocean, it creates the foundation for marine food chains, from the tiniest krill to blue whales.
By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. The YouTube algorithm loves that. Let's try to reach 5,000 likes. Thank you very much. Okay, but the Russians aren't the only ones with ambitions around the South Pole.
While Russia is modernizing its facilities, China is expanding its presence in Antarctica at a breathtaking pace. The newest Chinese station, named Qinling after a Chinese mountain range, is specifically designed for use on the inland plateau where temperatures of -60 degrees are not uncommon. China is relying on autonomous vehicles, drones, and satellite networks that deliver real-time data from vast areas. Beijing is particularly investing in ground-penetrating, radar-based mapping systems that reveal resources, water channels, and geological structures through the ice. In essence, one could say that China is using sonar to map an entire hidden continent. When the ice is digitally removed, a rugged landscape emerges that takes your breath away. Entire mountain ranges appear, completely hidden beneath the ice. Denman Canyon is even the deepest land canyon on Earth, more than 3.5 kilometers below sea level, prehistoric river valleys that have remained unchanged for millions of years. Dozens of active volcanoes slumber beneath West Antarctica. They do not erupt, but slowly melt the ice from below. This explains why certain glaciers are melting faster than climate models predicted. But now for the big picture. What makes Antarctica a geopolitical hotspot? The Antarctic Treaty of 1959 designates the continent as a zone for peaceful research. Military use is prohibited, so is resource extraction, as stipulated by the 1991 Madrid Protocol. But this protocol can be reviewed starting in 2048, and that is precisely when everything could change. Because geological studies suggest deposits of platinum, copper, nickel, and rare earth elements lie beneath the ice, the raw materials that keep our smartphones, electric cars, and renewable energy plants running. Raw materials worth trillions. The logic is simple. Whoever has the loudest voice in 2048 is the one with the strongest presence today, and so it all makes sense. The new Russian Vostok Station, China's new inland Qinling Station, the radar fleets, the drones, the icebreaker missions. This isn't pure science, it's strategic positioning. The US is watching this with growing unease. McMurdo Station, its largest Antarctic base, is over 60 years old and devours vast amounts of the repair budget. While China and Russia are building state-of-the-art infrastructure from the ground up, America has fallen somewhat behind at the South Pole, but I could well imagine that they won't let that sit on them for long.
So what do we learn from all of this? Antarctica is not just an empty white spot on the map. It is an ice archive of Earth's history. It is home to life in absolute darkness. It harbors hidden mountain ranges, underground lakes, and geothermal energy sources. And starting in 2048, it could become the stage for the greatest resource race in human history. And that race has already quietly begun. I will keep you updated on all further discoveries in Antarctica. Remember to give a thumbs up for the 5,000 likes.
If you're now curious about more exciting stories from Earth's past, I have something else for you. We'll take a look at the incredible megalithic structure that humans built 11,000 years ago in present-day Turkey, buried underground in a complex that turns our entire conception of early human civilization on its head. I'm talking about Göbekli Tepe, a structure older than the pyramids of Giza that leaves scientists speechless. You can check it out right here in the top right corner. As always, you'll find another video about science and space in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'd say see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.